Does trade deficits constitute a national emergency?
The hollowing out of the U.S.
No, just yes or no.
Class,
yes or no. Yes or no.
It's a national emergency, sir.
It does. It does. You're telling me trade deficits equals a national or creates
persistent and prolonged.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And do you know also, sir, that for the last 4 decades, we've had trade deficits in the United States of America, and nobody said it was an emergency? Democratic and Republican presidents? You know what that says to me? That it's not an emergency because it hasn't been for 4 decades. It says to me that we should bring tariffs back to the United States Congress so that we can make that determination as the Constitution has said and not try to go around Congress. That's just unbelievable to me. Let me ask this question. Maybe I missed it. Who was the president and who has been the president since January 20th, 2025?
Donald J. Trump.
Okay. And who was the president in 2024?
One believes President Biden.
One believes? You one of those non-believers that the election, the American people didn't vote?
I am not.
You're not? You said one believes? Do you believe in the Constitution of the United States and it should be abided by?
I believe in the Constitution of the United States.
So you believe in it without any second thought. You don't have to think about it. You believe in it and you will abide by it. Is that correct?
I have and I do, sir.
Okay. Well, do you know that a president has said he may or may not? He don't know? Let me ask this question. I couldn't believe my ears. Sunday, during NBC's Meet the Press, President Trump credited himself for the strong economy in 2024 when Joe Biden was president, but then he blamed President Biden for a weak economy in 2025 when he was president. Now, I'm not so sure how the American people puts that together. In 2024, strong economy, he tries to take the credit. In 2025, when he's the president, he blames Joe Biden. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't think it makes sense to most Americans. And I hope, Mr. Secretary, you're a businessman, it doesn't make sense to you either. It can't possibly make sense to you. Let me ask this question. If a government, say, look, Argentina, I remember when I came here, and Argentina kept failing to pay its debt. Not once or twice or 3 times. And we were all upset about it, and we said that they needed a host, somebody needed to take over their government. You know, somebody should help the president of Argentina. If the United States or didn't pay its debt or something like that, we'd be very upset about that if we couldn't pay our debt. I mean, that's one of our focuses. Is that not correct?
Sir, the United States will always meet its debt obligations.
Always. Well, let me ask you this. Donald Trump, the deal maker, and you didn't answer Ms. Velasquez's questions, no deals, although he said 3 weeks ago that there would be deals. But Donald Trump, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, but 6 times failed to pay his debts on his business and went bankrupt. And you're going to call that a good businessman?
The gentleman's time has expired.
When tariffs are imposed without congressional approval, the people most affected are not the policymakers in Washington but everyday consumers who pay higher prices, small businesses squeezed by supply chain disruptions, and workers whose industries become collateral damage in trade wars. This is where the Constitution becomes central. The power to impose tariffs belongs to Congress, not the president. Meeks wasn't arguing trade policy preferences, he was defending institutional guardrails. By invoking Argentina's history of debt defaults, Meeks made another critical lesson tangible. The United States' credibility rests on its willingness to honor obligations, pay its debts, and project stability. When leaders play fast and loose with debt, trade policy, and institutional norms, markets react, allies grow wary, and ordinary Americans ultimately bear the cost through higher borrowing rates, weaker growth, and economic uncertainty. If this conversation helped clarify what was really at stake in that exchange beyond the soundbites shared with someone who's trying to understand why trade policy, tariffs, and constitutional authority matter to their daily lives, stay engaged, stay informed, and keep asking the questions that powerful people would rather avoid.